Sun Belt Conference on ESPN as we welcome you to Veterans Memorial Stadium in Troy, Alabama for a pivotal Sun Belt East Division matchup as the Georgia Southern Eagles come to town to take on the Troy Trojans. As we look at the Sun Belt standings, Louisiana on top of the West, and Troy at 3-1 in second place, but the Eagles control their own destiny because they upset App State. If they win out, they'll be the Eastern Division champions and play in the Sun Belt Championship game. And good afternoon, I'm Matt Stewart, joined by former Auburn Tigers All-American, NFL first-round draft pick, and 15-year pro Wayne Gandy. And Wayne, this Georgia Southern team was in this same position a year ago after upsetting App State. They did not handle Prosperity well last year. Can they do so this year? And this Troy team still can become bowl eligible, but they have a big month of November.
This Eagle team, right after the App State win, they came together as a team in the locker room, talked about, hey, let's not do what we do last year and celebrate too long, got back to work on Monday. And then when you look at this Troy Trojan team, they're 3-5, had a lot of injuries, a lot of miscues really for the guys that have been out on the field. They have to clean that up, but they can still get themselves into a bowl game.
Well, the Eagles have won 4 straight, and it's no coincidence that has coincided with the return of running back Wesley Kennedy to the lineup.
4 games back, 7 touchdowns, close to 500 yards. He has made his return, and he's trying to make up for lost time. A lot of speed and durability. He's what they've been missing from that spot.
When you play Georgia Southern, you have to defend the triple option offense, and for Carlton Marshall and the Trojans defense, that'll be a tall task.
Sideline to sideline, he's a tackling machine, but today he's going to have to be real physical in the middle and be real patient against this triple option. 2
of the top quarterbacks in the Sun Belt on display as well today. One of the top rushing quarterbacks in Sun Belt history, Shai Werts, leads the way for Georgia Southern. The top passing quarterback in the Sun Belt here in 2019, Caleb Barker. Opening kick coming up next. Spectacular Saturday afternoon for this big Sun Belt East Division matchup as the Georgia Southern Eagles, winners of 4 in a row and now 3-1 in the Sun Belt, take on the Troy Trojans, trying to right the ship heading into this month of November. Currently 63 degrees right now with a slight breeze coming out of the east-northeast at 5 miles per hour. And Troy won the opening toss, Wayne, and they've elected to receive. Typically teams defer, but when you play a triple option team and possessions and play count are going to be low, you probably want the ball first.
You're going to get 3-4 less possessions per game, and the thing that you want to do if you're this Troy Trojan offense, you want to be aggressive all day long. You want to get up quickly on the scoreboard and try to force the Eagles to do things offensively they don't want to do. They want to slow pace, slow walk the ball. If you can go up on the board, it puts them in a real fix quickly.
Reggie Todd is standing deep along with Jabrier Daughtry Fry, and Tyler Bass set to kick it off for the Eagles. And we are underway from Troy. And Fry will take that deep in the end zone, will not return it, so the ball will come out to the 25-yard line. And a chance to see this Troy offense led by the top passer in the Sun Belt Conference, Caleb Barker, the 6'1", 200-pound senior out of Decatur, Alabama, and Priceville High School, who's having a great senior season.
Outstanding bounce-back year. Has the arm strength to deliver the ball all over the field, and he's very efficient. Not a lot of interceptions, as you can see, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a high completion rate around 51%.
Billingsley will get the handoff to start the game, and Billingsley crashes up to the 29-yard line, 4-yard pickup. Kendrick Duncan making the tackle for Georgia Southern. He was probably the player of the game for that team in their upset win against App State from a defensive standpoint. Barker back to pass, looking, going to air it out deep, wobbly pass down the middle of the field, and broken up at the 31-yard line. Geiger was trying to come back forward, and it was the aforementioned Duncan who got back there and broke it up.
Big play offense we know that Troy has, and that's one thing that Georgia Southern has to limit. As you can see on that play, great protection up front, long developing play. Look at this time that Barker has in this pocket to set his feet, give his receiver time to make play downfield. A little underthrown, but good job by Geiger going back to break that possible interception up.
Yeah, Wayne, it was really wobbly coming out of his hands, and that probably cut down on the distance. And there was a flag down on the field as well. Marshall Lewis is our referee today. You heard ineligible receiver downfield, declined penalty, so it's going to be third down now. Third down and 6, line to gain is the 35. Barker throws, and that's complete, but short of the first down to Billingsley at the 34-yard line. Wayne, they needed 6, and they only got 5.
That's on DK Billingsley right there to go to the sticks, but you can see Troy being very aggressive here, going for it on fourth down.
Right up to the line of scrimmage, and Barker dives under the tackle and picks up the first down.
One of the questions I asked Coach Lindsey, did you expand your fourth down playbook? Because he understands you take on a quality triple option team as Georgia Southern, you're going to have to take those kind of gambles throughout the game.
When you punt the ball away, you might not touch it again for 6 or 7 minutes. And so Troy, recognizing that, goes for it. Pass complete to Letton up to the 49-yard line. That'll be another first down for the Trojans.
Troy sporting a 3-5 record, but they have an explosive offense. Now 37 points a game.
Right up the middle, another big gainer for the Troy Trojans down to the 36-yard line as Billingsley gets loose in the middle.
From the top offensive lines, going with a quick pace.
Billingsley gets it again, a big hole on the right side, and Billingsley down to the 15-yard line. Duncan making the tackle, but a couple of big gainers by DK Billingsley.
And this tempo seems to be giving Georgia Southern a couple of problems. They're still looking to the sideline right now as the play is going on.
Barker on the keeper will slide down at the 12-yard line under the tackle of Duncan and Ellis. Pick up a 2 on the play.
In and out substitutions. Good pace here by Troy. You can see the Georgia Southern defense kind of caught off guard, not understanding who to line up on.
So second down now. Barker, pump fake, time, throws for the end zone, wide open, touchdown to Brett Clark, and Troy on the board, 6-0 here in the opening 2+ minutes.
This throw and catch here, Parker and Clark. Great play design. This is all a function, the double pump there by Barker. This is all a function of the pace. You can see the confusion the whole drive. Once Troy went into that kind of pace up to the line of scrimmage, Georgia Southern just kind of lost all their assignments.
Sumter on for the PAT. They get the hold down, and he puts it through, and a 7-0 lead for Troy. 9-play, 75-yard drive that included going for it on fourth down in their own end. 13-yard touchdown pass to Brett Clark, and the Trojans on the board first. Back at the vet where Troy has taken the 7-0 lead on Georgia Southern. Nice 75-yard drive for the Trojans as you take a look at the series history. The 19th all-time meeting between these two teams dating back to the 1930s. Troy has won the last two, including last November, 35-21. And Kennedy's going to take this kickoff and call fair catch at the last moment at the 2-yard line. So the Eagles will bring it out to the 25-yard line. And Wayne, that's exactly what you want to do when you're playing a triple option offense. You want to score first. You want to put that triple option offense as the team playing from behind.
When you look at this Troy team, you look at the record, it's 3-5, but you got to realize it's a function of a high-powered offense, a lot of talent. They push the pace, and now that's what you want. That's why they take the ball. If you win the toss, you put pressure each and every time. You can put some on the board and get a big lead on this Georgia Southern offense.
You saw Shai Wertz, the starting quarterback for this Eagles team. Passing numbers aren't going to be there in the triple option, but the rushing numbers are. He's one of the top all-time rushers in conference history for a quarterback. And he's going to keep it on the first, no pitch. And ball is out and recovered by Kennedy at the 28-yard line. And Troy just missed a golden opportunity right there as they separated Wirtz from the ball.
Nice job of staying home with that discipline, and that's what you got to do all day long. Marcus Webb getting that start. Look at him not giving up that corner, hustling to the outside. The man in the middle, Carlton Marshall, getting there as well. It tests your discipline and it tests your physicality taking on this kind of offense.
And after Kennedy fell on top of the ball, it squirted out from underneath him, and Ransom, the wide receiver, was actually there to get on top of it. Second down now for the Eagles. And Kennedy up to the 30-yard line. Robertson there to help make that tackle. Robertson getting the start at will linebacker. Sholo was there as well. A lot of changes on this defense for Troy today because of injuries. Robertson just starting ahead of Wisenhunt at that will linebacker spot.
And that's the thing with this defense. You've had a lot of people have to rotate in and out. You need everybody on board today, getting in, being able to substitute, especially with the injuries they have.
Third down and 5. Line to gain is the 35. And Wirtz wants to go to the air. Dancing. Silo missed him. And he's run down from behind. And that was Webb who made the tackle, getting the start, as you mentioned, Wayne, at that DN spot today. And he makes the tackle. It's going to be fourth down.
Good initial protection here by the offensive line. Just can't find anyone down the field. Silo getting some pressure off the edge, and then Webb hustling to bring down a guy. You just have to get him before he gets to that line of scrimmage, and Shy Wirtz.
Anthony Beck standing at his 15-yard line to punt. Luke Whittemore standing deep for Troy to take it, as the Trojans defense forces a 3-and-out on the Eagles' opening offensive possession. Whittemore is going to take it at the 24 and be dropped immediately at the 23. Thompson making the tackle for the Eagles, and that's where Troy will go back on offense.
Can't have a better start than Troy so far in these first two drives. Your offense quickly got into the end zone, a little over 2 minutes to score, and then you get a 3-and-out, and you already have the ball back, and you're only 5 minutes into the game. Just a great setup so far for them.
Yeah, absolutely. They couldn't have scripted it any better. You know, when I say that they get on top, you always want to get on top and score first on your opponent. But when you're playing a triple option team, the emphasis is even greater than usual. Simply because if they get rolling and start ball controlling, you're going to be in trouble. Fry on the run, and Fry's going to pick up a couple of yards up to the 25-yard line.
Let's see if Troy today, as we've seen in that first drive with Billingsley, you have Billingsley and Fry. You lost your running back earlier in the season, B.J. Smith. You have capable backs. You have a great offensive line. Can you be physical and run the ball, shorten the field, and shorten the game up on Georgia Southern as well? Yeah,
Troy a disappointing 8th in rushing in the conference out of 8 teams. They run the screen to Geiger, and Geiger gets stunned to the ground at the 30-yard line. Rutledge making the tackle, and a flag comes out at the end of the play.
I think we're going to get a unsportsmanlike play here on Todd, number 2, out on the corner.
And that would be an absolute killer because you're looking at 3rd down and 2 before the.
There are unsportsmanlike conduct fouls on both teams after the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 2. Unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 4. Both players have one unsportsmanlike conduct foul for the game. The penalty is canceled. 3rd down.
So that's Reggie Todd for Troy and Monquavian Brinson for Georgia Southern, who got ticketed there. Now it's going to be 3rd down and 2. Brinson, one of the top cornerbacks in Sun Belt history. In fact, he now holds the career record for passes defensed.
Caleb Barker, very mobile quarterback. Got to stay disciplined as you rush the passer if you're Georgia Southern.
That's a first down catch by Todd. Made a man miss, and he's across the 50 and down to the 46 before being tackled by Liptrot.
Going with pace again. Very talented receiving core One of the tops in the Sun Belt. They have big play possibility each and every time they throw the ball.
Fry, big hole up the middle, and Fry down to the 25-yard line. Duncan making the tackle, but this up-tempo has really bothered this Eagles defense.
Got a flag on the play. Rashard Byrd pointing as though it was holding.
Number 65. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
These are the kind of plays that Coach Limsey talked about, that they just bad timing with the plays. Right here in the middle, you can see Byrd try to slide through. Number 65, Dylan Bradshaw grabs him. Anytime that referee sees that linebacker go down like that, easy holding call to call right there by the ref.
So 1st and 20 now from the 45-yard line. Pressure creeping up on the edge for the Eagles. Comes off. Now a hit on Barker as he releases downfield, incomplete. And Barker took a shot to the knees at the 35-yard line. Whittemore went the other way from where the pass was supposedly going.
We talk about sacks, but a lot of times it's just about the pressure and the hits you can get on a quarterback. If you're Georgia Southern, that's the kind of pressure you don't want Caleb Barker just to stand back there. These receivers are too big and too talented to give him all day to throw.
So 2nd down and 20. Barker now going to run to the pressure and go down. Dropped immediately. Number 93, A.J. Watkins making the stop right there at the line of scrimmage. Now it's going to be 3rd down and long.
An aggressive defensive front, trying to take advantage of it with the quarterback draw just sniffed out from the beginning there by number 93. Big play, A.J. Watkins.
3rd down and 21. Line to gain is the other 35, the Eagles 35. Barker, heavy pressure again, runs away from it. Little hesitation in the open field, and he gets close to the 1st down with a big run all the way down to the 36. I'm guessing they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Great job of him letting that pocket in the middle open up. Coming back from the knee injury, but he's showing you he's very healthy. And watch him right here. He understands where the sticks are. He's surveying the field. Put them in a position, as we already saw on their side of the field. They went for it on 4th and short. He is limping a little bit as he goes back to the line of scrimmage as Barker.
You can see he still wears a big brace on that right knee. That's the knee that he tore the ACL in last year against the Georgia State Panthers. Brings up a 4th down and 1 after a 20-yard gain by Barker. And they're helping a man, Renard Ellis, the Mike linebacker for the Eagles, was shaken up on the field. You can see him walking off now.
Their second leading tackler, Renard Ellis, the sophomore, redshirt sophomore.
So Chris Harris, the junior out of Benedictine in Savannah, will check in for him at that Mike linebacker spot with 4th down and 1 coming up for Troy. And as Wayne alluded to, the Trojans already 1 for 1 on 4th down conversions in this game. Weldon, the superback, in there to block. And Woolfolk does not get there. Was following the block of Weldon and did not pick up the 1st down, and the ball will go over on downs. Eagles got tremendous penetration at the line of scrimmage, and Woolfolk never got to the line of scrimmage.
Up in their run, blitz, linebackers up in the line of scrimmage. Chris Harris, Lane Eaton right here. Stifling the offensive line and slicing to Wheaton to bring him down. Great job by Georgia Southern, and I think that's something they're going to have to expect all day long in these 4th and 1s, 4th and 2s, that Troy is going to try to keep the ball and keep their offense on the sideline.
So now the Eagles go back on offense for the 2nd time. They've run only 3 plays from the line of scrimmage. Wirtz running option, now backing up the pass, got away from Cholo, and will not get away from Webb. Webb and Robertson both there, went right through the offensive lineman and got in the quarterback's sack, and Wirtz loses his helmet on the play. Means he's got to come off the field.
Georgia Southern offensive line win the line of scrimmage. Right there, Will Cholo, one of the best D tackles in the business. Just beating Peyton Barker the center right there, the third center they've had this season to walk on. And what a challenge for him to take on the kind of talent of Will Scholler.
So Justin Tomlin now in there at quarterback for at least this one play after Wirtz forced off losing his helmet. Trojans showing blitz, and they bring it with the safety. And the handoff to J.D. King, and he gets nowhere. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Smiley, another guy getting a chance to start today. Number 31, A.J. Smiley, starting at the bandit position today in place of the injured Jarvis Hayes.
The senior, 229 pounds. A.J. Smiley gets the credit, but 94 Silo, setting that point, just refused to get pushed off the ball. Him and Cholo inside are a great tandem, and you can see the effect on this drive that they can have.
So 3rd down and 20 so far. The Trojans have done a really good job against this Eagles offense. King goes in motion to the outside, and now the quarterback draw by Wirtz, and they've got him covered. Dropped at the 22-yard line. Marshall leading the way, and a flag out comes at the end of the play. Harris and Marshall there. One of them might be called for unsportsmanlike here.
Flag in that position a lot of times is illegal formation.
Offside. Defense, number 48, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
I totally missed that. The flag came out late. I thought it was an infraction at the tackle. That was a late flag, or at least I just saw it late.
With this Trojan defense, you did all the work. You created 3rd and long. You put Shy Wirtz in this offense in a situation that they're only 29, 30% at on the season. Not a good category in these situations for this passing attack of Georgia Southern.
Well, they're 0 for 1 so far today. This is a disadvantageous position to be in. 3rd and 15. Wirtz being chased out of the pocket, now going to run it. And Harris going to tackle him at the 35, and he's going to be well short of the 1st down. And another flag out.
Good job by this pursuing, aggressive defense of Troy. We might have another personal foul at the end, unsportsmanlike conduct at the end of this play.
After the play, personal foul, offense, number 50, 15-yard penalty. It is 4th down.
That'll be on Caleb Kelly, the tackle.
Right on the edge.
See number 50, Caleb Kelly.
Comes in your screen a little late and gives a shove. I don't even think he's aware as he runs back to the sideline that a penalty has been called.
So that'll push the ball back to the 21, meaning Beck will be kicking from his own 6-yard line. Second punt for Beck in this game. And Whittemore standing back at the 35 to receive. And Beck, line drive kick. Whittemore will take it, not call a fair catch, and be dropped at the 31-yard line. So Luke Whittemore showing a lot of guts there to not fair catch that thing with the defense bearing down on him. So ball at the 31, Troy going back on offense when we get back. Caleb Barker, 5 of 7 for 61 yards passing, has rushed for 23 through a 13-yard touchdown pass to Brett Clark for the only score so far in the ball game. As you take a look at his quarterback rankings nationally, 6th in the nation in passing yards per game and 3rd in the nation in completions per game. He's having a great season. Swings it out here. And Fry, actually that's Todd, pardon me, up to the 40-yard line, and a pickup of 9 on the play.
Very efficient is Caleb Barker. He knows where he wants to go with the ball. He has the arm to deal it out anywhere on the field, and he understands that all he needs to do is get these talented receivers in a place to catch it.
Geiger right across the middle to the 30, to the 20. Geiger in a foot race and chased down at the 6-yard line. Duncan with a touchdown-saving tackle, but he's been chasing guys all day.
And what a big find by his Geiger. Good protection. Look at this pocket to throw from. Throwing the ball across the middle of the field. And Geiger jumped on the scene for the Detroit Trojan offense.
Billingsley runs it right tackle and gets maybe 1 yard on the play. 123, and plus with that play from Geiger, now up to 188 in total yards to 0, and actually -1 now for Georgia Southern in this game. Got a flag out right now, and that's what they have stopped for. There's the update on the rushing stats as well.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 23. That's number 23's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. 15-yard penalty.
Wow.
The down counts. It is second down.
Wow, you just can't even have that. A 15-yard mark off and the down count, so a loss of down, really.
Emotions are high in this game, as you know that both of these teams are engaged. Sometimes you engage too much, and you got to understand there's plays you just have to walk away and look that person up the next play. Sometimes they get the better of you on a play, and you just have to remember their number and name and catch them on the play or later in the game.
So second down now from the 20-yard line. Second down and goal. Fake a handoff to Billingsley. Barker stands in the pocket. Now the pressure coming to him, and he's going to be sacked. Nice job. Dylan Springer with the quarterback sack, grabbing him at the ankles.
Their leading sacker is Springer. A lot of time here. 3-man rush up front. A lot of time. Good job by the secondary. Just know where to go with the ball. But if you're Georgia Southern, you don't like to see Barker be able to stand back there and pat the ball that much. That's going to end up in a bad situation for you as this game goes on.
That will not count as a sack, as Troy actually got 2 yards on the play. But now third down and goal from the 18. Hand off to Billingsley, right up the middle. Billingsley, touchdown, Troy. Wow. On 3rd and 18, they run a draw play and score the touchdown.
Great vision by Billingsley. Look at this block by his right guard, Tristan Crowder, coming off right there, picking up number 36, Renard Ellis, to spring this big play. Good job by the offensive line. Patience on draws and screens are counted on, and good job there by 54, Crowder.
Sumter on for the PAT. Ball placed down, kick is up and good, and Troy has jumped out to a 14-0 lead on Georgia Southern. Trojans with 209 yards of offense, and the Eagles have -1. Billingsley right up the middle, and Troy out to a 2-score lead here at home. Kalen Geiger with 3 catches, 68 yards already in this game, has 4 100-yard receiving games this season. As you see, the Troy Trojans, only team in the nation with 5 receivers with plus 100-yard games. But the real story here today, Wayne, has been the run, and Troy gashing Georgia Southern with their rushing attack.
So many weapons in that passing core. You forget how good of an offensive line. You got some all-conference guys up there at front. And you got some fast, strong running tailbacks that can get the job done in Billingsley and Fry.
And Smiley tackling Kennedy at the 15-yard line, him choosing to run the ball out, and they come up 10 yards short of the 25, which he could have had he fair caught the ball.
Right now in this game, Troy just seems to be playing at a different pace than Georgia Southern. They seem to be everywhere, anticipation. They seem to be on the edge and playing with that energy you thought maybe Georgia Southern beating App would spring them into. Right now, on both sides of the ball, you can see just a different pace by the Trojans.
Well, we talked about Georgia Southern not handling Prosperity last year, and it looks like the script is repeating itself so far here in this first quarter. Their first quarter since pulling off that 24-21 upset win at App 2 Thursday nights ago.
Good job by Carlton Marshall in the middle. Marshall Law beating the big right guard, giving away about 70 pounds in weight to Jake Edwards, getting rid of him and still being able to make the play. What an outstanding player is he.
Second down and 7. Only 2 rushing yards for the Eagles in this first quarter. They fake the pitch. Wirtz, heavy pressure, scrambling, going to take a sack back at the 15-yard.
This is that energy and stuff that you see. Only 4 on this play. Fake there, but that edge rush there and follow behind as well. Great job by him. Going past the quarterback, you're taught to roll back into the play, just moving at a different pace than these offensive linemen right now. What's his defensive front?
And 3 sacks already for the Trojans in this first quarter. And this is a Georgia Southern line, offensive line that's been beat up this year. As you mentioned, the walk-on, Peyton Backer starting at center, and they have been whipped so far in this first quarter. Wirtz going to run, and Wirtz makes a man miss, and Wirtz has the first down at the 32-yard line, and finally tackled by Sunderland out there. First positive play for the Eagles, and it takes 13 minutes into the game to get it.
Good job by their general, Shai Wirtz, just making something happen. No one there. He can feel the pressure right in the middle of his face. And as we know, he has running back skills when he's out in the open to be able to make a man miss and pick up a big first down. At that point there, you think Georgia Southern having to punt, give them the ball back midfield, a lot of trouble they would have been in.
That's the first down for the Eagles in this game. The Trojans have 7. Wirtz running option, going to pitch to King. And King dropped by Marshall at the 39-yard line, and King picked up 6 on the play.
Good job there, just making it happen. J.D. King had an outstanding Oklahoma State transfer, just been steady for them all year long. Wasn't sure if he was going to even be able to play this year,
right,
being in the transfer protocol, but he's been a steady guy that they can count on so far in 2019.
An Oklahoma State transfer, but a local high school football star, played for the Fitzgerald Purple Hurricanes state championship team. He was a teammate of James Graham, the starting quarterback now for Georgia Tech there. On second down, they run it into the middle. Third down and short coming up. This is right. This is the wheelhouse. This is the kind of thing that Georgia Southern wants.
Yeah, this is right on their page to create. They're trying to create 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. They run that style of offense. They stay in front of the sticks, and now all the plays that they really love to run are open to them.
So this is good. This is the first time we've really seen Georgia Southern doing something offensively that they want to do. This is more in their sync. 3rd down and 2. Handoff King, and close to the first down. Now he's got the first down for sure. Second effort from J.D. King. I think it's one of the cool things about this Georgia Southern team. Their 2-star running backs are both local kids from southeast Georgia. J.D. King played at Fitzgerald. Of course, Wesley Kennedy played for the Benedictine state championship team as well, as we reach the end of the first quarter. Well, it's been all Troy here in the first quarter. Trojans with the 14-0 lead. But Georgia Southern starting to move the ball for the first time today. Second quarter coming up when we get back. A salute to the veterans here as we went between quarters, and there's a look at the POW MIA chair that sits empty here at every home game at Veterans Memorial Stadium as we start the second quarter, and Georgia Southern running a reverse. That was Malik Murray, who picked up about 5 on the play, on the opening play of the second quarter, as the Eagles crossed the 50 for the first time in this game.
Great discipline by K.J. Robertson to stay home on that backside, D-end position, just not letting that reverse happen at all. Had to cut it back in, but good job by him. And that's the discipline it takes, and you seeing why they are having so much success in this game by this defensive line.
Second down, and King with the handoff, and King gets a couple of yards on play. Carlton Marshall, the linebacker, making the tackle. Brings up third down and about 4.
Have to account for number 2, Carlton Marshall, in the middle of this defense. Watch the aggressive nature he has. He's reading it, and then he just goes and gets the ball. He's not buying all that fluff of people going away from him. Way to show some patience, stay home, and when he sees the ball, he's one of the top Sun Belt guys that's going to tackle.
Third down, we'll call it 5. The line to gain is the 44. Kennedy in motion. Wirtz looks out there to him, throws low, and that is going to be ruled an incomplete pass, and it's going to be fourth down. Let's see what Georgia Southern does here.
Ruling on the field is a forward pass, which was incomplete. Fourth down.
That was right there on the edge.
Really close right here from our vantage point. A couple of inches of that ball going and being a lateral right here. When you watch standing on the 45 throwing that ball, I don't know. The ball seems maybe it went right an inch in front of that marker. Very close for Georgia Southern for being a big turnover for Troy.
So Beck, they're going to run a fake. Snap to the up back, and that is going to be a first down for the Eagles. So the fake punt by Georgia Southern works, and that was C.J. Wright, the defensive lineman who's in there to block on the punt, who ran for the first down.
The big fellow in the middle here, look at the skills, showing a little wiggle in the hips and then falling forward. These kind of plays lets you know how big this game is. Both coaches have gambled and tried to go forward and had successfully gone forward on one or two of their attempts, but that lets you know Georgia Southern understands they're back against the wall, down 14 in this game.
So the Eagles retain possession, 1st and 10 from the 38, and Wirtz running option. Pitches last moment to King, and he fumbles it out of bounds at the 41. They lost 3 on the play.
Will Cholo just won't be blocked in the middle of this defense. Just never allowing Shy Wirtz right here. Watch Will Cholo just hustle and make him keep that ball to the outside. Marcus Webb playing at a high energy. His defensive line has taken over this game and forcing this Georgia Southern team to play out on the edge. Right now, they can't get anything in the middle.
Cholo had 10 tackles last week in Troy's 36-35 loss at Coastal Carolina. 2nd down and 13 now. Handoff goes to Kennedy, finds a hole and goes right through it. Kennedy inside the 20, and that's a touchdown for Georgia Southern.
Wesley Kennedy, his 9th touchdown in 5 games, just returning, missed the first 4 games. And that's that speed component that he brings right here. Just patience in the middle. Kind of got lost in the traffic, and once he breaks out into the open, very few can run him down.
Tyler Bass on for the PAT. Anthony Beck is the holder. Ryan Langen is the snapper. And the extra point is good. So Georgia Southern climbs back in the game. This looks more like the Eagles you're accustomed to seeing. A 41-yard touchdown run by Wesley Kennedy. It's 14-7.
Rated E for everyone.
Troy Trojans 14-7 lead here early second quarter, but the Eagles get back in the ball game on the long run by Wesley Kennedy. Matt Stewart along with Wayne Gandy. Thanks for joining us here at the Vet today. So Tyler Bass set to kick off. Fry and Todd standing deep for the Trojans, and it's going to go deep into the end zone, and Fry will not return this, and so Troy will bring it out to the 25-yard line. But you made a good point, Wayne, with the fake punt. Both these teams, especially Georgia Southern, realizing down 2 scores, they could not afford to give the ball back given the fact they haven't stopped Troy on offense yet.
Yeah, this offense of Troy is clicking. The run game is explosive, and that whole drive, that touchdown set up by a big, long first play. It was 4th and 5. It wasn't like one of those 4th and 1s, and it took a D tackle to make that play. But if you're Georgia Southern, you have to look at this game and realize that your defense is not in tune, at least so far in the game. And we do know that this offense of Troy scores about 35 points a game.
Gonna whip it out here to Fry. Fry got a block out on the edge, and Fry gets about 9 yards on the play before being tackled by Baker.
Once again, trying to get a little pace, trying to confuse Georgia Southern, catch him lined in the wrong defense.
Barker quickly to the air again, and that's going to be a catch at the 43 for a first down by Khalil McLean. Nicely executed.
Nice throw by Caleb Barker on that out route. Just leading the receiver, taking advantage. 6'4" is McLean, using all of it to bring that ball in bounds.
Troy trying to get their defense. They've got 3 guys standing on the field, and that's probably going to be a penalty on the Eagles. I don't see a flag, but Barker throws downfield, incomplete at the 39. I don't know how that was not a penalty.
And I think Caleb Barker was asking for the ball because he noticed that those guys were still on the field. He looks like right there, he's kind of campaigning with the referee. Everybody kind of moving in slow motion, thinking they have the penalty on their side.
Georgia Southern simply has not adjusted to this up-tempo offense yet. They had 3 guys trying to come on the field. Now they're coming back out. See the 3 guys coming on late? And now they're going to swap out. Down to 5 on the play clock. And a timeout's going to be called by Troy. The officials, of course, held him up, and you can see that head coach Chip Lindsey wants to know why. He's upset that they didn't let Troy go up tempo there and let the substitutions come in. So a timeout for Troy. We'll step aside with them. Three-plus minutes into this second quarter, Troy on top 14-7. You see Monquavian Brenson, the senior corner for the Georgia Southern Eagles, moving to the top of the Sun Belt career passes defended chart this season.
What a great secondary Georgia Southern is able to put out there. Really allowing their defensive front to be able to move around, only have to rush a few guys, and as you can see, they can dial up the blitz anytime they want.
Barker to the air, throws short. Was looking for Clark at the 38-yard line. He and Clark teamed up on a 13-yard touchdown pass for the Trojans' first score today. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 10. Trojans are 2 for 4 on 3rd downs today and 1 for 2 on 4th downs. Barker 9 for 13, 141 in the air, and that 1 touchdown pass to Clark. 3rd down stop here, and then you can maybe sense the momentum of the game going back in the Eagles' favor. Barker stands in there, fires underneath, and Gibson going to be stopped short of the first down at the 49-yard line.
Good break on the ball by the Will linebacker, Rashard Bird. A lot of running room in front of Gibson right there to get that first down. If he doesn't make that tackle, good hustle by him. And as you can see, for a second there, Chip Lindsey thinking maybe to go forward on 4th down to keep this drive going.
4th down and 2, and they had the offense on there, and they finally swap them out for the punter. Sumter, now they run a fake. And gonna get it. Wow, second effort on the play by Micah Murphy to get the first down. He was caught behind the line of scrimmage, looked like the ball was going to go over on the fake punt, and Murphy with the second effort picked up the first down.
A little homage here. Give credit to the old Bobby Bowden, a little trickaroo here. Snap the ball to the up man who hands the ball to one of the gunners real close here. Can't really see it in that frame, but great play design and just extra effort to try to get that first down as he did.
I thought it was not nearly as close, but they had to measure, and the measurement shows that he indeed did pick up the first down at the 47-yard line. So these two teams have combined to go for it on 4th down 4 times today, and we've had 2 fake punts. Barker on a wheel route, throwing deep instead and incomplete, and a flag out. McLean the target inside the 10-yard line, and a flag dropped on the play.
Monquavian Brinson. Todd getting a step on him.
Pass interference, defense, number 4. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Reggie Todd, a big target, 6'3". You can see right here at the end, pulling the jersey, trying to anticipate, never turned around to find the ball. A lot of that is trying to anticipate the ball falling in there, knowing he was beat. And in college, a lot of times, coaches in those situations.
Please reset the game clock to 10 minutes and 16 seconds, 10-1-6.
Coaches will train you. If you feel that way, take the penalty, because unlike the NFL, it's only a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, better to give up a 15-yard penalty than a pass completion inside the 10-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Billingsley on the run, and he got shot down right there at the line of scrimmage. Raynard Ellis making the tackle after a 2-yard gain. Now, Kendall Vildor, who's their other really high-quality, all-conference type wide cornerback opposite of Brinson, has not been on the field today. We were told before the game that he might not be available. We have not seen him on the field yet.
Troy trying to get back to the run game on that last play early in the game. A lot of success running the ball.
2nd down and 8. Barker to the air, and that's caught by Geiger. First down for Geiger at the 15-yard line.
Only 160 pounds, showing a lot of toughness right here. Good protection to throw this ball from. Know you're going to get hit. Big hit delivered there by Rashard Byrd, but holding on to the ball is Geiger.
Touchdown, Troy. And that's Eford with the touchdown catch. And it's 20-7.
Trey Eford, didn't know if he was going to go much today. Just running a seam route, getting behind the linebacker right there. Byrd, and coming up with the catch. You can tell a little hampered with his leg. But nice route, good drive, good protection, and nice delivery of the ball by Barker on that touchdown.
2nd touchdown pass of the day for Barker. And Georgia Southern continues to struggle with the up-tempo offense of the Trojans. They go 75 yards again, and Eford with the touchdown catch to put Troy back on top by 2 scores. Recognizing their drum majors from years past. Here right now, Troy putting a beating on the Georgia Southern Eagles, 21-7.
Nice job by both of these teams, taking advantage of 4th down conversions today, and a big answer by Troy to keep that pressure on this Georgia Southern offense.
We'll see if Georgia Southern can get things going, but offensively isn't the question right now. Look like their offense starting to, get their rhythm on their last possession, Wayne. Their issues are on the defensive side of the ball. They got to come up with a way to stop Troy, or they're hopelessly behind already.
180 already in the first half by Caleb Barker and these attacking receivers. They're doing a great job up front, and I think that's where it starts. They're not winning the line of scrimmage. They're allowing Caleb Barker to sit back and be able to pick them apart. They're going to have to change their game plan, maybe pull a couple of more blitzes, a couple of more stunts in there. But right now he's in a groove, and these receivers are making big-time catches.
Shai Wertz, 8 carries, 9 yards for him so far today. 1st and 10 for the Eagles as they start a new possession. And Kennedy coming to the near side, and Kennedy's going to pick up 10 on the play and pick up the first down.
And that's the kind of speed that Wesley Kennedy possesses. Finds that back door quickly and will test the speed of your defense. You have to stay disciplined. Can't let him, if you're Reddy Stewart, get out in that open field and make it a track meet.
And Reddy Stewart is another one of the guys. He had played in the first 4 games of the season, and they were hoping to redshirt him by playing him in those 4 games and no more, but they've had to call him into duty today with McDowell out with an injury. King on the carry, got stuck at the line of scrimmage. Very little gain. Marshall making the tackle for Troy.
Will Cholo, number 5 in the middle there, still holding the point. Just making a pile in the middle, won't get pushed off the ball, and then Carlton Martial coming for the cleanup. And very potent between Cholo and Silo in that middle so far.
So 2nd down and 9, ball at the 36-yard line. King lines up in the backfield behind Wirtz. And Wirtz rolling to his right, pressure coming, running away from it, throwing on the run, caught downfield at the 40-yard line by Murray. First completion of the day for Wirtz across midfield.
Good job by Shai Wirtz, a little rollout. He understands he's going to take a big hit at the end, but stood in the pocket, outside the pocket, and delivered the ball, showing his athleticism and ability to throw the ball on the run.
So 1st and 10 for the Eagles at the Troy 34. Murray goes in motion. Handoff goes instead to Kennedy. Stiff arm, makes one man miss. And Kennedy going to be driven out of bounds at the 33-yard line by Stewart.
Good pursuit by that defense. Just a man every 2 or 3 steps, just causing Wesley Kennedy to continue to have to bounce the play out. If you're Georgia State, you got to have a little more production on that 1st down. That's what seems to be, at least in this first half, was stalling your offense. Not a lot of production, making Shai Wirtz have to work on 3rd downs to convert.
Kennedy with 55 yards rushing, 41 of that coming on the touchdown run earlier in this quarter. Murray in motion again. Wirtz, short drop, lofts it up in the air and unable to run under. Darian Anderson on the near sideline.
For Shai Wirtz, you got to be able to lead your receiver into the end zone. He got the step. It's Darian Anderson on the corner. And the quarterback just threw the ball over his head out of bounds. You got to leave that ball. That ball has to fall somewhere in bounds so the receiver can go get it.
3rd down and 9 for Georgia Southern. 2 of 4 on 3rd downs, 1 for 1 on 4th downs. Kennedy in motion. Wirtz going downfield with it, and it's caught at the 10. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. Malik Murray on the touchdown end of that pass from Wirtz. And Georgia Southern cuts the Troy lead to 8.
Showing the blitz is this Troy defense. The check by Shai Wirtz, flexing Wesley Kennedy out, found himself in an open backfield and just running down the seam for the touchdown. Won't ever get any easier for a quarterback to find Tyler Bass right there for the touchdown.
33-yard touchdown pass from Shai Wirtz to Malik Murray.
Excuse me, Malik Murray.
And Tyler Bass on for the PAT. Kick is up and good, and it's 21-14.
Miscommunication here, picking up the blitzes, the offensive line. Malik Murray just running down the seam, uncovered. You can see 22. Nixon trying to get over for the coverage from the backside. All that was a function of Wesley Kennedy leaving the backfield, kind of running a bubble screen to pull the defense. And he left Malik Murray wide open.
6-play, 75-yard drive for Georgia Southern as they get down the field in 2 minutes and 44 seconds. So now they've got their offense going. Now they've got to come up with a way to slow down and stop this Troy up-tempo offense. All they need is one stop, and they get the ball back, and you got a tie game, right?
That's a big task. This Troy offense has been stellar all season long. They've lost a lot of high-scoring games in this stadium on the road last week, losing by 1 point, 36-35. A lot of high-scoring games. They're used to these kind of shootouts. Georgia Southern has to keep pace.
Knuckle line drive kick goes out of bounds at the 14-yard line. So Troy will get it at the 35.
As this game is going on, Matt, probably the best thing we've seen is how these teams, after their coach takes that gamble, they respond. And after each team scores, they respond, and that's what the good teams do. You have to respond to what the other team does and keep pace.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team number 16. By rule, the ball placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So Troy back on offense. 269 yards of total offense so far for the Trojans today. 180 through the air and 89 on the ground. Barker pitches to Fry. Fry with Todd out there blocking for him. Got around that, but does not get around Raymond Johnson.
Nice play. Not sure why Jabari Daughtry Fry just didn't take that ball. There was a couple of holes. He just kept bouncing outside when there was green grass in front of him right there. Got to be more aggressive as a running back. You got to take what sometimes the defense gives you, even though you know you have that big play ability.
Brings up second down and 8 with the ball at the 37. Fry, they're going to flare the ball out to him, and Fry across the 40 and cut down by Ellis at the 43, and a couple of yards shy of the first down.
Just a blur coming out of the middle of that defense to make that play. It's Ellis. We saw him leave a little earlier, the back injury, but he's back, and what speed he showed to bring down Fry there from getting that first down.
Ellis now with 5 solo tackles in the game and a flag down on the play.
Full start. Offense. Not all 11 players were set. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Well, that's one of the downsides of the up-tempo offense.
They look out in that trips formation. The 3 receivers just didn't seem like they understood how the stack was going to work on that particular play. Who's on the line, who's not on the line. Sometimes when you're doing a lot of switching in and out, that happens.
So third down and 7 now after the 5-yard mark-off. Line to gain is the 45. Clark in motion. Barker, time, gets it downfield, and it's caught by Todd. A juggling act, he holds on, and finally got on the ground at the 35-yard line. Big-time catch by Reggie Todd in traffic.
Great protection. This was a deep end route by Todd. Look at the time it takes for Caleb Barker to find him, trying to knock the ball out. It's 15, lip trot, but great hands by, great concentration there by Todd.
Back to live action, and the ball batted down by the dog linebacker, Randy Wade, who's having an absolutely fabulous season for the Eagles. Second down and 10 coming up as the Eagles shuttle personnel off the field. Under 5 minutes to play in the first half. Running reverse for Geiger. Geiger inside the 25 and tripped up and goes down at the 21. Picked up the first down with a 14-yard gain.
Taking advantage of the undisciplined back side of this defense. Jay Bridie just missing on that. Being able to get a big play is Geiger.
And Billingsley stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Rashad Bird making the tackle, 1-yard gain. Second down and 9.
This Troy offense had a lot of success running the ball. Their backs, they've gotten away from that. But in Georgia Southern, you got to keep your eye on DK Billingsley in these situations. Make sure the count in the box is correct.
Protection for Barker, slings it to the outside and broken up by Liptrot. Whittemore the target there. And again, Liptrot getting a lot of playing time over there with Vildor apparently out for the game with an injury. And it's going to be third down and 9.
Really challenging this secondary. Caleb Barker making that count in the box, 5 in the box, run the ball, 6. You had to go out and try to throw the ball. Got to take some chances if you're Georgia Southern winning on that play.
3rd down and 9 now. Pocket stands up, plenty of time for Barker. Fires inside the 10-yard line to McLean at the 6 and a 1st down.
And this is all about the time. Look how he has the time and the vision to find his receiver down the field.
1st and goal to go from the 6. Billingsley runs right into the teeth of that defense, gets slammed to the ground. No running room there. Ty Phillips, the nose, there to stop him.
Caleb Barker very easily could have pulled that play right there on that edge. You got to realize that if you're a defensive end, don't be too aggressive and let him pull that ball. He's a senior. He's smart. He's going to start reading that you're crashing down on that running back.
Eagles subbed out their entire defensive line right there. 2nd down and goal from the 6. Barker all kinds of time, slings it sidearm at the goal line for Geiger. And that's Duncan, the safety, there on the coverage. Incomplete, 3rd down.
On Monday film study, when Barker sees this play, he's going to realize it was all touchdown in front of him. He kind of took a peek right there that he thought about it, and then he decided to get the ball out of his hand. There was a touchdown waiting on him if he had got outside and went up the middle of that defense.
3rd down and goal from the 6-yard line, just inside the 7, really. Six men in the box for the Eagles. Jump ball in the corner, one-handed attempt by McLean, incomplete. Brinson on the coverage, and it's 4th down.
Good job if you're Georgia Southern, kind of breaking the action, finally at least holding this offense to a field goal try, looking for the 50-50 ball out on the edge. But Brinson, one of the top corners in this league, just not buying on any of it.
Sumter on for a 24-yard kick from just inside the right hash mark. And the kick is on its way, and the kick is good. So Sumter connects from 24 yards out, and Troy now has a 10-point lead at 24-14. But all things said and done, that's a victory for Georgia Southern to stop them. They had it 1st and goal to the 6 and hold them to 3.
Got to look at it, how they talk about in tennis, the break of the serve. Got to stand up at some point, keep them from scoring touchdowns, had a little success, especially considering you gave up the big pass down the field. You're able to keep them out of the end zone. But you got to continue to try to find ways to cut down on the time that Caleb Barker is having to deliver this ball. That's why they are able to deliver these deep in and deep crossing routes.
Yeah, Barker already has 227 yards passing in this game, and we're not yet at halftime. So the freshman, Jake Martin, out there to kick for the Trojans. And let's see if the Eagles return this. The last time they returned it, got stopped short at the 15-yard line. Kennedy calls fair catch, and they will settle for the 25. And it's really amazing how this rule, Wayne, has really changed the dynamics of college football. It doesn't seem like starting at the 20 would make that big a deal, but starting at the 25, you see so many more 75-yard touchdown drives than you ever saw 80-yard touchdown drives.
And it helps those teams especially that might not have the dude back there that has that kind of athletic ability to make those big plays, and it gives you that comfort of knowing if you feel uncomfortable catching the ball, that at worst we have the team at the 25 to start the drive, which, 25-30 is kind of what the special teams feel is a good return in those situations anyway.
So the Eagles back on offense with 158 total in the half. Wirt's going to keep and cut inside and get dropped after a 2-yard gain. Marshall and Harris there to team up and make the tackle.
Good patience by Harris. Just staying home. I think that's the best part of this defensive action today is the rallying to the ball and how they've just on those edges, they have stayed home, not really bought on the fake. They had the one run by Wesley Kennedy, kind of sneak out on them, but for the most part, been very stout against the run.
Eagles the opposite of the Trojans and not playing with tempo, but Georgia Southern still has all 3 timeouts, and so plenty of time still to score here in this first half. Running option to the other side. Wirtz the keeper again, and Wirtz not going to quite reach the sticks with the tackle at the 34-yard line. That was Dunmore making the stop for the Trojans. Going to bring up 3rd down and about 1.
That's Georgia Southern football. That option, create 3rd and 2, 3rd and short, so you can dictate to the defense what you want to do. All plays are open for Shai Wirtz in this situation.
See the Eagles 3 of 5 on 3rds, 1 for 1 on 4th. Time winding down, less than 90 seconds now in the half. Handoff, J.D. King will not get the first down. Let's see if Troy burns time out here to get the ball back. Excellent opportunity if they try and choose to do that. That was Sunderland with the tackle. And a timeout was called by Troy, I think.
Second charge timeout. Troy.
Look at the defensive line. J.D. King couldn't get up in the middle, tried to bounce out. That's not really his game, trying to bounce plays to the outside. That's more Kennedy's game, and good play and good tackle by the smaller Sunderland to come up and bring down J.D. King.
Well, that was a huge stop for Chip Lindsey's defense, because now they can get the ball back, and the Trojans do have 1 timeout remaining, a chance to, if not score a touchdown, get a field goal. And remember how important that is, because Georgia Southern gets the ball to start the second quarter. So another opportunity here that maybe they did not anticipate to score again before the end of the first half.
And this is a function of how your quarterback makes decisions throwing the ball, but also that your offensive line is doing a great job protecting him.
First charge timeout, Georgia Southern. This will be a 30-second timeout.
And giving him time to deliver deep routes. As we've seen in this first half, it's not really been the short, quick game. It's been 10, 15, 20-yard passes down the field, and that's a function of the protection.
So you heard a timeout called by Georgia Southern back-to-back with the Troy timeout to initiate the stoppage of the clock. And so the Eagles deciding what they're going to do here on 4th down and 2. I don't think there's any question they've got to punt it away. They can't give I mean, you can't give up the ball in what essentially is already field goal range.
Chad Lunsford just probably making sure everybody's on the same page, don't want to block. We've seen 83 Whittemore take a couple of gambles in the return game already.
Yeah, I think he's got to play it safe back there. Make sure he makes a sure-handed catch so this Troy offense gets an opportunity to get the ball back with time to work with. And now another timeout called by Georgia Southern.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
So interesting.
A little chess game going on for this punt.
There is no foul for delay a game because of the timeout.
That's why they had to burn it, because they just about had run the play clock down. So rather than take the 5-yard penalty, and they do have the timeouts to burn, you can't take them with you. It's a smart call.
This Troy defense going to be in a punt-safe formation, I would imagine. They're not going to get a heavy rush in this situation, especially you've already run the big fake punt for the first down to set up a touchdown. You see Will Cholo and those guys still on the field, and this punt safe. You leave your defense out. You tell your return guy, just field the ball in the best situation.
Beck standing at the 19. Snap goes all the way back, and Beck gets it out of there. Whittemore does not call fair catch again. Oh, he did call a fair catch. He called it before I saw his hand go up. He came up and made the catch at the 36 with a man in his face. And so that's where Troy will put the ball in play with 66 seconds left here in the half. And they've got probably about 25 yards to go, I would think, to get in field goal range here. Maybe a little bit more than that, maybe more like 30 yards.
Protection adds a premium, especially when you talk about college football. Each and every time the ball stops for first downs, you're able to run those kind of routes when you get the protection that Troy's had so far.
Nice pocket for Barker, gets it downfield, incomplete, nearly intercepted. McLean was the target. Duncan, the deep safety there, made a diving grab at it, and it's going to be second down.
Can't emphasize enough about the protection. You can see on that, Caleb Barker head moved about 3 different receivers to see who's winning their battle. Just back there, very comfortable, able to take his time and throw this ball.
So second down and 10. Still plenty of time on the clock, and Troy has 1 timeout remaining. Handoff goes to Billingsley. Billingsley with a big gainer across midfield, down across the 40, and finally chased out of bounds at the 34-yard line. And Troy very close to Sumter's field goal range here.
Best part of this is how once DK Billingsley gets out on that edge, he doesn't get greedy and try to take it back in. He gets out of bounds to stop that clock.
First and 10, ball at the 34. Troy on the move again. Barker on a crossing route to Billingsley, and he'll be tackled shy of the out of bounds. So the clock is running with it at the 24.5.
Plenty of time. You still have a timeout, so you can work any of your routes crossing the field.
And the play gets blown dead. And that's a break for Troy right there. Not sure why the clock was stopped and why the whistle was blown.
Both teams taking advantage of this stoppage. Switching out players.
They're going to do a measurement? I mean, they're that close to the sideline and they got to do a measurement?
Maybe 2 inches short right there with the first down. Is that what he's...
I don't ever understand what constitutes the need for a measurement. I mean, the ball will be there practically on the sideline. They'll call for a measurement. Or maybe it's just so they could spot it right here. That might be what they were doing. They just wanted to make sure they got the spot right when they pulled the ball out to the hash mark. Because I've seen them look across the field from 50 yards away and make an eye call on it and not measure. But I think that's exactly what they were doing there, just bringing the ball out to the hash.
Taking it from a 1st and 10 to a 2nd and inches here.
But whatever, it was a break for Troy for sure. Now the clock is running again. And Barker, pocket, looks like there was some contact. Looked like Johnson able to get his hands up in Barker's face. I don't know whether he hit the ball or the arm, but it's incomplete, and now it's 3rd down and 1.
A few times he's had any pressure, and that was late pressure. He's able to survey his 2nd, 3rd options on these plays. Just not having enough arm strength to deliver that ball. Couldn't step into it.
Now remember, Troy can run it here because they do have 1 timeout remaining. 3rd down and 1. Fry will get the handoff. He's got the first down, and Fry dropped at the 18, and Troy burns the timeout, or do they? No, they don't burn the timeout yet. Just stop to move the chains. Now the clock moving again. Barker to the end zone, and incomplete. Looking for Clark there. Brinson on the coverage. Clock stops with 13 seconds left in the half.
Good job by the offensive line. Giving time for this play to develop. You can see how Barker's just back there, hasn't had to move off the spot really at all to find his receiver.
He has got great protection today, and that's offensive line down a man. Kurt Kelly, the veteran left guard, out with a high ankle sprain, and Bobby Clem got the start in his place today, and he's still out there for him. 2nd down and 10, clock is running. Barker can't take a sack here. He's going to run it and slide down at the 6 with 5 seconds. Troy does have a timeout, and they use it right there.
3rd and final charge timeout. Troy, this will be a 30-second timeout.
Heady play by Barker getting down.
They might call another timeout.
Pressure off the edge. I think he didn't realize how much open space he had. Almost stripped himself down initially when he took off. See, early in the game we saw him kind of gimping after he got tackled on the sideline. Still doesn't seem real comfortable moving in that pocket, having to run.
All right, well, here's the deal. Troy has no timeouts remaining, and the ball is at the 6. Do they bring Sumter out here or do they go for the touchdown? Now it looks like Sumter has joined the huddle. At first he was outside the huddle, and I'm thinking there's no way they're going to try to run another play here without kicking, are they? And Sumter's going to come out and they're going to try the field goal.
Good drive, put some points, extend this lead for half. As we talked about, each and every point you can keep pressure on Georgia Southern as this game gets into the second half and make them have to, at some point in your mind, go to more of a passing offense, which they're not really built to do.
23-yard attempt. He's already got a 24-yarder today. The kick is on its way and good, and Troy cashes in. So stopping Georgia Southern on that third down play and keeping them from getting the first down pays off with another 3 points for the Trojans, and Troy will go to the locker room with a 27-14 lead.
Good job by the offensive line and the protection, and Caleb Barker has just been in an outstanding groove in the first half.
Caleb Barker with 2:36 in the air, and Troy leading by 2 touchdowns as we head to halftime here at the Vet. Troy, Alabama, Trojans with a 27-14 lead as we get ready to start the second half. Matt Stewart joined by Wayne Gandy, and Georgia Southern will get the ball first to start this third quarter.
A lot of pressure on them as they style of offense cuts down other teams' possession. They're going to have to make sure each and every time, as we saw in that first half, going for it on fourth down, stay ahead of the chains, stay in that Georgia Southern kind of frame of mind, and the bigger question falls on their defense. Can they slow this Troy offense down at all? We saw them kind of hold court one time, but they're going to have to come and shorten this game on them.
And you take a look at the time of possession. Georgia Southern leads 15 minutes, 49 seconds to Troy's 14 minutes, 11 seconds. But more importantly than that, Troy has run 48 plays to Georgia Southern's 27.
Yeah, they're going to have to win not only the time of possession, but they're going to have to get off the field on third down. Right now, Caleb Barker just too comfortable in the pocket, able to take the routes that he wants to throw. They're going to have to start dictating to him, maybe come with a little more corner safety blitz.
Yeah, and Georgia Southern, you talk about getting off the field on third down. Troy is a combined 7 for 12 on their third and fourth down conversions. And that simply can't last if the Eagles are going to make a comeback in this game. Kennedy will have it hit in the end zone, kick on through, and so the Eagles will start at the 25-yard line.
Very important possession here. As we know, they're down on the scoreboard. They're going to have to quickly get down the field, start playing with a little more tempo offensively. I know they're comfortable with that kind of old-fashioned, in the tooth, in the mouth kind of play. But they cannot give this ball back without putting points on the board each and every time, I feel, in this second half.
Yeah, we just updated you on the Sun Belt scoreboard. That Texas State-South Alabama game now at the end of the third quarter with the Bobcats on top 27-21, and Vitt now at 345 yards passing in that game. Wirtz tosses to King, and King is going to go down at the 24-yard line. Carlton Marshall is the one that's finally there to finish him off, and Marshall got shaken up on the play.
Like a missile, Dale Pettis, number 19. A big blow if Carlton Marshall can't finish this game. He's the leader of that defense. Only a sophomore. Blur, 19. Dale Pettis comes out. He misses the tackle. He makes J.D. King cut it back in. It looked like maybe a shoulder injury. I thought it was lower leg. It looked like maybe on that tackle. He jammed that neck, pinched a nerve.
Well, this Troy defense that has been besieged by injuries this year cannot afford to lose Carlton Marshall, who's number one in the Sun Belt in tackles per game and tackles for loss per game. He's got 9 tackles here in this game, 4 solo, and they help him off the field. So the big question mark becomes, if Marshall comes off, who comes on?
Definitely drop off in that situation. Have to move a couple of guys, as they've already had to do. Hopefully he can get back into this game. The kind of effort he gives on each and every play will be missed.
So second down and long now for the Eagles as Marshall goes to the sideline. Wirtz play action being chased. Cholo giving chase. And Wirtz delivers, and it is going to be ruled incomplete or a catch. That's Michaud who caught it, and that's going to be an incompletion. It's kind of out of our line of sight right here as it went right in front of the sideline.
Heavy pursuit, and you can see neither foot coming down in bounds. Good hustle by the defensive front, just not giving Wirtz any time to set up to deliver that ball. Pretty good in this game. 3 of 6 on third down as Georgia Southern been, but throughout the season, this is a down and distance they struggle at.
And Carlton Marshall is back out on the field. He missed one play. Third down now. Kennedy goes sprinting to the sideline. Wirtz has a pocket. Now it breaks down, and he's going to go down at the 21-yard line. Another quarterback sack for this Troy defense, and that time it's Travis Silo who gets him.
Travis Silo, Will Cholo, both working back to the quarterback. Only a 3-man rush. Just can't find anybody down the field, and as we talked about, third and long, it's just not how this offense is built. You can see the celebration between the two inside tackles. They have had a stellar game so far.
Silo with his second sack of the game. And Georgia Southern 3 and out on their opening possession here to start the second half. And Beck will boom it out of there. And Whittemore did not call fair. He did call fair catch, and he juggled the ball. He's making these fair catch calls while I'm following the track of the ball in the air, and I'm missing it. And makes it in traffic and juggled that thing, holds on, and Troy takes over at the 36-yard line.
Definitely want to yell and keep your return team away from you. Almost had his gunner pushed into him, causing a fumble. But if you're Troy, you went out, got a 3 and out. I mean, it's a perfect half, similar to the first half, setting up your offense to get back to work.
Well, I don't want to go as far as to say that Troy can put the game away by scoring on this possession, but a score on this possession would make it awful difficult for this Georgia Southern team to come back. A completion to McLean picks up 8 up to the 43. And again, Troy stays in that tempo offense that has caused the Eagles so much trouble today. Barker airing it out on the far sideline, intercepted at the 16-yard line by Liptrot. And the first big defensive play of the day for the Eagles gets Georgia Southern the ball back.
The red shirt senior, Jesse Liptrot, little 50-50 ball, good pocket. Just throwing it out there, trusting that Khalil McLean was going to come up with the play.
First down, Georgia Southern. Time out on the field.
So Liptrot with the pick. Georgia Southern on offense when we get back. Well, Jesse Liptrot gets to wear the turnover chain after a big pickoff, gets the ball back for his Georgia Southern Eagles. As you take a look at their chain tally over the last couple of seasons, and a big one right there for Liptrot. And Liptrot playing today in place of the injured Vildor. And that's Kennedy on the run as he slashes out to the 24-yard line and got 6 on the play.
If you're Troy, defensive coordinator Brandon Hall, you're definitely going to get your defense to understand we're up 13. They need 2 touchdowns. They're a slow-paced offense. Just make the tackle, make sure no one gets behind you, and make sure that number 12, Wesley Fields, doesn't get one of those big, long runs.
Well, that was a huge turnover for the Georgia Southern defense. First time they've been able to slow down that tempo offense of Troy, and J.D. King rumbles for the first down at the 33-yard line.
Nice physical run here by King coming out that back door right there. And those nimble feet able to cut back under and get another 3 or 4 yards. Impressive style of fire and ice between him and Kennedy.
No doubt about it. King at 5'11", 220 can run with great physicality, can't he? He's good between the tackles, that's for sure. So 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. And this time Kennedy, the slasher, dances in the hole. Didn't get very far. Webb, and Cholo making that tackle for the Trojans. And Webb's going to come off the field.
Georgia Southern, you like to see a little more pace to the offense. I know this is your style, but you are down 13 points in this game. And yes, you got the turnover versus that Troy offense the last time out, but they are very capable of taking the ball, their run game, and eating up 5-6 minutes as well.
Yeah, if you don't believe us, ask the App State Mountaineers. That's not really been the case here today against Troy, however. Second down and long. Wirtz, pump fake, stands in the pocket, delivers downfield. Michaud tried a one-handed catch, and we're going to have a flag out on the play. O'Shea Fletcher on the coverage might have interfered with him.
Interesting call here. You have one referee threw his hat,
which means he was
that
out of bounds.
Went out of bounds.
In that case, you can't have interference, right?
It might not be an interference call on this. Might pick up the flag.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 11. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So O'Shea Fletcher gets called for the pass interference.
Shirt freshman. Referees deeming that he pushed him out of bounds, which would be pass interference. You can see the frustration from him. That's the one thing about this Georgia Southern offense. They don't throw the ball a lot, but they do come up with big catches in those 50-50 situations. They do have big, talented athletes, physical receivers.
So 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line following the penalty on Troy. And Wirtz will toss to King. King trying to clear the edge, and Harris gets him out of bounds at the 48, a pickup of 3 on the play.
Good job by T.J. Harris, that spear linebacker, keeping that outside shoulder free. And I like how he pulled up right there. A lot of times on that out-of-bounds situation, the frustration, you pull the runner down. Gave up and understood he was out of bounds and not give up the 15-yard penalty.
That's a great point. So often you see on that play, they'll take him to the ground out of bounds and get that penalty. And Harris had the awareness not to do that. 2nd down and 7. Wirtz pitches to Kennedy, lost his feet. Stumbles forward, got a yard on the play, maybe.
Good job by this Troy defense. One of the things they're going to be proud of, if they can pull this victory off, is the way that they are rallying to the ball. As you can see, the speedsters like Kennedy, they're trying to find that hole. Each and every time they get away from one defender, there's somebody else coming into your screen to make them continue to have to bounce the play.
So 3rd down now. Line to gain is the 41. Quick toss to Kennedy. Got a man to beat, got 3 men to beat. He's not going to be able to either. Troy had that defense scouted very well. And it's going to be 4th down and about 7, maybe 6.
Dale Pettison deploys about 5 guys. It's almost set up like Wesley might have thought about passing this ball for a second. Look at all those maroon jerseys. Number 2, Carlton Marshall back on the field and back into action.
So now it's going to be 4th down and 6. And Beck is on to punt again, standing at his own 39. Whittemore, a spiral kick that he will take at the 13-yard line, and that's where the Troy Trojans will put the ball in play when we get back. Troy gets the ball back up 27-14, and look at the play total advantage for Troy, 50-36. You can't win a game running 36 plays.
And typically in a game like this against a triple option team, it would be in reverse where they have the more plays. They're going at a pace. Georgia Southern, they're going to have to start getting on the board each and every drive. Let's see if Troy starts going back to their run game and try to milk some of this clock.
And Billingsley with a strong 8-yard run to start this possession.
Still going with a little tempo. They've had a lot of success catching Georgia Southern lined up, mislined up. And right there, a nice strong run again by D.K. Billingsley.
Billingsley had reached 100 yards on the previous carry, now drops below that as he takes a 3-yard loss, brings up 3rd down and 4. And I know the tempo has worked, the up-tempo has worked for Troy, but they need to be able to change tempos. Go up-tempo, then slow it down, pull it back as needed here, burn some clock, which is what they're doing right here. Clark in motion. Geiger with a pocket. It blows up. And that was Johnson who came from the backside, the blind side. Barker never saw it. Hit as he released the ball. And a 3-and-out stop for the Georgia Southern defense.
Good job, just pressure off the edge. Pushing him around there is left tackle Austin Stidham. For most of this game, been very comfortable in the pocket is Caleb Barker. Right there, just not feeling that pressure coming off the edge. Luckily, had this arm going forward.
This will be the first punt for Sumter in this game. Heavy rush and a sky ball, but short kick. Fair catch is called for and made at the 44-yard line by Kennedy. So Georgia Southern gets the 3-and-out stop, gets good field position, and a chance to get back in this ball game when we get back. (27-14), Troy on top. 7.5 minutes to play in this third quarter as the Eagles go back on offense at the 44-yard line. And a chance after that stop on 3rd down to maybe inch a little closer here with a strong drive on the offensive end. Wirtz going to go to the air, deep across the middle, and Michaud cannot run under it. Had the coverage, got behind the coverage, but couldn't run under it.
Good play action fake up front. Michaud Wirtz, you want to hold on to this just a little longer, give the receiver time to get out. Just couldn't get there. Getting behind the defense, great job. Michaud just cannot connect, and when you run this kind of offense, those are not really the familiar plays that they're used to, trying to connect like that.
What that tells me is they're in 4-down territory. If they're going to take a shot like that on 1st down, they're going to run the ball 3 straight times here to try to get the 1st down if needed. And that's Kennedy up to the 50-yard line as he got 6 on the play, brings up a 3rd down and 4.
And we just talked about the Troy offense and them maybe wanting to slow down and not go with the pace. If you're Georgia Southern, I know you're a run-based team, but you're going at a pace as though you're up on the scoreboard. I know you're calm, and there's a lot of time left in this game. Your defense seems to be on an upswing. Just want a little more in and out of the huddle. Give yourself more and more opportunities.
9 carries, 70 yards for Kennedy in the game. 3rd down and 4. King gets it this time, and J.D. King crashes through a tackle by Dunmore and close to the 1st down, depending upon the spot.
A touchdown-saving tackle there. Jaquez Dunmore. J.D. King big and powerful. You can see him bouncing it to the outside, breaking that tackle, Carlton Marshall, and he knows it when he gets up that he was about to go to the end zone if he could have came out of that tackle by Dunmore.
And it was a 1st down. That'll be 1st down number 10 for the Eagles. 1st and 10 from the Troy 46. Clock right at 6 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Wirtz running option, keeps it down to the 43-yard line, 42-yard line.
Good job once again, T.J. Harris, linebacker, keeping everything in front of him, not buying on the fake, staying disciplined, being able to force Shy Wirtz back into the middle of the defense. But for Georgia Southern, they'll take 4 yards on 1st down all day.
That was the 5th tackle of the game for Harris. 2nd down and 6 for the Eagles. Line to gain is the 36. Wirtz stopped in the backfield. Nice play by Marshall. He blew it up, and then Webb finished off the play.
As we talked about, Carlton Martial, known for his ability to make plays from sideline to sideline, but against this kind of offense, he's going to have to show patience, and he's been doing that today right there. But when he reads it and he goes to get the ball, you can see he's that kind of difference maker, which makes this a tough defense.
The thing you hear all week is we've got to play assignment football, Got to make the appropriate reads. 3rd down and 6 now for Georgia Southern. Wirtz going to run it, and he's got the first down and more. Wirtz inside the 25 and finally dragged down from behind by Fletcher at the 23, and a big run by Shai Wirtz.
Nice job by Wirtz, recognizing on the low snap the blitz pressure coming off the edge, and as you can see, the middle of that field just opened up. All the pressure, the blitz coming from the edges, he automatically knew he was going to get out of town and punish that defense. Nice big gain by him.
So 1st and 10 for the Eagles at the Troy 23. Georgia Southern, plenty of time, especially if they can score here. King on the run. Right into the teeth of that defense after picking up just a couple of yards. King 12 carries, right at 33 yards in this game. Leading rusher on this team because Kennedy did not start or play the first 4 games, serving an academic suspension.
Coach Lunsford talked about how King brought a toughness to this team, the style and the physicality. He brought a toughness. They're known for the option and their speed. He's a power back that likes to get downhill.
2nd down and 8. King gets the rock again. The ball is out. It's covered by Troy. Nope, still loose. And let's see who's got it. Smiley was on top of it and lost it. Troy comes out of there with it. Smiley holding it high in the air. I think this play might be reviewed. The question will be, did the ground cause the fumble here for King?
Right here, King just slipping.
The question is,
and from that view, it looks like maybe his elbow. The ground can't cause a fumble.
Play on the field, a fumble recovered by the defense. 1st down.
well, this play is going to be reviewed, no doubt about it. The question will be, did King have possession, then lose possession after his elbow hit the ground, or was he losing control of the ball before his elbow hit the ground? That'll be the question mark as they go under review here. And
unlike the NFL, once the runner is down, he's down. It's not like if he has slipped and fell, he can get back up. Let's see.
It looked to me like he had possession and the ground caused the fumble. So this might be overturned.
Full option, and right there, only question, the ruling on the field is that he fumbled. So they would have to go check to make sure. They're going to be checking if the ball is moving in any kind of way before he hit that ground. This will be Troy's ball.
Yeah, that's the critical component in this whole scenario, is the call on the field is fumble. I think there's enough video evidence to overturn that, because I think he had possession of the ball to the ground, and then the ball came out after his elbow hit the ground, but we'll see what they say.
After review, the runner was down prior to the fumble. Ball will be placed at the 24-yard line. It's 3rd down. Please set the game clock to 3 minutes and 9 seconds. 3:09.
You can hear the patrons here at the vet do not like the call, but I think it's the right one.
It's the right call, definitely. You can see his left elbow. He slipped trying to jump back into the hole. And when his cleats came out, his elbow hit the ground. Big break for this Georgia Southern offense.
You're not kidding.
In this situation.
You're absolutely not kidding on that account. 3rd down and 10 now. 3rd and 11 if you'd like to call it that. It's a long way to go. Line to gain is the 13.5 for Shai Wirtz. And this Georgia Southern offense that's managed just 216 yards today. Kennedy in motion. Wertz avoids the pressure, at least for now. He's dancing. And he's going to go down. Marshall comes up and makes a huge open field tackle.
Carlton Marshall, Mr. Everything for this team, and definitely their defensive leader. Good pressure by Will Cholo up the middle, and now it's just about getting him on the ground. And you can always count on Marshall Law right there. He is that kind of playmaker, and he's a great tackler.
Tyler Bass on for a 43-yard kick. He leads the conference in 14 makes, but also has 7 misses. And this one on its way, and it is going to be no good. His 8th miss of the season, and Georgia Southern comes up empty on this possession.
Just pulled it to the left right here. Trying to drive it through those goalposts. And what a defensive stand there by Troy. After the big run to get down there by Shy Wertz, be able to stay tough in those situations and give yourself a chance. Now can they get offensively, get the run game going? It's something that they did great in that first quarter.
So 1st and 10 for Troy, and Wayne, the double whammy there is not only do you not get points, you just burned a lot of time off the clock and did not get points.
And that's that casual style in which they typically run the ball, try to eat up a lot of clock, shorten the game. It can sometimes hurt you when you're trying to catch up.
So a huge win for Troy defensively. They swing the ball out here, complete to Fry. And Fry, ball is out, and Georgia Southern on top of it at the 34-yard line, and the Trojans give it right back. Ellis got on top of that thing, and I don't think this time Troy is going to get bailed out by a review. I think that ball was out.
Moving on the field is the fumble recovered by the defense. First down.
Just a little swing pass out to the left. Good play, positive yards by Fry. He is a little undersized, only about 5'8", 175. Making a move, got his shoulder square, and just coughed up the ball at the end.
So the Eagles take over at the 34-yard line.
You see a little flare route out. Nice catch, good blocking on the edge by Woodmore.
The ball was clearly
out. The ball was clearly out there.
So the Eagles' second life here. Another opportunity. And they're going to go to the air, and Robertson with the quarterback sack. Sack number 6 for this Troy defense.
KJ Robertson getting the start today, that bandit position. And here, he's just going to get the ball. Shy Wertz, nice job by him.
Are you surprised that Georgia Southern went pass play after getting the ball back there?
Very surprised that we saw them a little earlier go for the deep bomb. Their team is just not built for this. His offensive line is an option blocking, run blocking team.
Handoff goes to King, and King going to muddle and get close to the line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage. Picked up about 5 on the play, and I know the coach's handbook says you get a turnover, you take a shot. But in that case right there, I don't agree with that.
And I think they're starting to feel that pressure that the clock is winding on them. They got to get into the end zone. But you're exactly correct, Matt. It always says in these situations at this part of the field to go for the shot. And you've kind of thrown this offense off again. And Troy has you right where they want in 3rd and long.
Yeah, absolutely. 3rd and 13 here. And a big pickup needed for the Eagles. And they'll have to throw it. They set up a screen pass for King. He's got some room, and Smiley runs him down from behind at the 26. So this gives them the opportunity now to go for it on 4th down and 2 as the clock winds down to 24 seconds left in the quarter.
Definitely, as an offense, you can see nobody move towards going to the sideline. So they already knew in this situation they were in 4-down territory.
No doubt, especially after Bass missed on the field goal attempt just a few moments ago.
Got to take advantage of that turnover in this short field.
But it looks like they're going to wait and go for fourth down on the first play of the fourth quarter. As the clock winds down here to finish off the third. How about that? A scoreless third quarter. And we'll head to the fourth. Troy leading by 13 and a big fourth down coming up for the Eagles when we get back. We've gone from day to night here at the Vet in Troy, Alabama as we start the fourth quarter. A big fourth down and 2 here for the Eagles. And Wirtz gonna fake a toss and roll to the right and throw downfield. Caught, touchdown, Anderson. And Georgia Southern on fourth down and 2 runs a pass play and scores. It's 27-20.
Nice job by Shai Wirtz. Nice play action fake. Watch how he comes out here with a lot of confidence to find his receiver wide open out there in the flat. Just crossing route there by Anderson. Miscommunication once again. As you can see, nobody's running with him. And whenever you see a receiver like that with nobody trailing him, that means that has been a busted assignment.
Bass with the PAT, and Georgia Southern has battled back and cut the Troy lead to 6. A 26-yard touchdown pass from Wirtz to Anderson to start the fourth quarter. Troy with a 27-21 lead now. The Eagles as close as they have been all day after falling behind 14-0 in the open 11 minutes. As you take a look at Sunbelt's bowl winning percentage the last 3 years, and right now the conference has 3 teams that are bowl eligible: App State, Georgia State, and Louisiana. Georgia Southern can become one of those teams with a comeback victory today.
And these Troy Trojans are in the driver's seat in this game to keep their hopes for a bowl alive tonight as well. Can they offensively get anything going again? You can just tell in that quarter, no energy offensively, almost as though the game was over. And now can they pick up that energy they started that first quarter with?
Yeah, Troy would have to win 3 of their last 4 to be bowl eligible. I don't know that 6-6 will get them into a bowl, though. They probably have to run the table to win their final 4. I'm just guessing there to get to 7-5, given the competition in the conference for bowl bids. Geiger on the catch and run up to the 36-yard line. And a first down for Troy on a nice play there. And the Trojans have to get back to what worked for them, and that was tempo offense.
And back to tempo, getting the play in and out.
Again, quick pass to Geiger. And he's up to the 43-yard line. He picked up 7 on that play.
Continuing to be a special player for them, transferred over, and really has become the star of this receiving corps.
That'll be the 5th 100-yard receiving game for Geiger this season. He has 6 for 102 today. Barker complete. That's 3 consecutive catches by Geiger. Let's see if he taps out here.
Going with the tempo. Looks like he is going to go to the sideline.
3 straight catches. Man, he's got to get a breather.
3 straight, especially this deep into the game. Going with the tempo that they are, and good protection there by the offensive line. Once again, able to survey the whole field is Caleb Barker.
So 1st and 10, the ball at the 49-yard line. Pass complete to Clark. He gets blown up right away. Nice play by Donald Rutledge, the strong safety there, to fight through a block and make the tackle.
We talked about trying to slow down the pace in that third quarter when they were up by 2 scores. In this situation, to get that energy back, they're going back to that fast pace, kind of confuse this defense as much as possible, who seem to get misaligned when they go with that tempo.
2nd down and 8. Ball is at the 47-yard line. Line to gain is the 39. Play action. Barker steps up and throws to Billingsley. 1st down and more for Billingsley as he is tackled and run out of bounds at the 33-yard line by Bird.
Play action fake. Little choice route there by D.K. Billingsley. Good positive play. This drive alive. Once again, having all the kind of time, all the time in the world to deliver the ball.
Barker to the air again. This time it's Clark again, and Clark down to the 25-yard line. And quick moving offense here for Troy has come down the field with great haste against this Georgia Southern defense. They swap out their defensive line again. So 2nd down and 2 from the 25. Geiger in motion. Going to throw it back to Geiger. Let's see if he throws a pass. And nearly intercepted. He was trying to throw the ball back to Barker and threw it right into the hands of Ty Phillips.
Bernard Ellis with the pressure. Geiger, not the tallest, just
the second pass was forward, incomplete. 3rd down.
Bad fundamentals on trying to throw the ball back. Didn't get set, didn't even take a look back to see who was in the way. Phillips standing in the middle of that pass, and what a big disaster that almost became for the Trojans.
Yeah, Raymond Johnson actually touched it first, and Phillips was there as well. 2 big defensive linemen had a shot at an interception. That pass is thrown complete to McClain, and McClain dives down, picks up the 1st down at the 13-yard line down to the 12, so they get it right back and pick up the 1st.
I think Chip Lindsey decided Rashard Bird down in the middle of the field, like he may be nursing his shoulder right there. Big loss to finish this game if he can't come back in. Still, one thing we haven't seen in this second half a lot is the backs carried the ball. The offensive line was doing a great job. It's been more of an aerial attack by Troy.
Troy has scored every time they have been in the red zone here today. 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals. Billingsley got swallowed up on the play by Ty Phillips, who no doubt is still smarting over that interception that he missed.
Ty Phillips coming from that DN position. You could see Caleb Barker right there at the end clap his hands. He knew he should have pulled that ball, but we saw him kind of limp a couple of times in this game. Maybe he's not really comfortable running the ball.
2nd down and 8. Ball 10-yard line. Weldon in there to block. Play clock down to 8. And Troy has to burn a timeout. Didn't look like they could get straight
1st charge timeout
on the signal.
Troy, timeout on the field.
And we'll step aside with them with just under 11 minutes to play here in regulation. Second down and 8 for Troy here coming out of the timeout. Ball at the 10-yard line. A score right here, Wayne, would be huge for the Trojans.
Can they get any pressure on Caleb Barker in this situation? We've seen him very comfortable. A lot of time to look over the field. If you're Georgia Southern, got to get some kind of pressure to make him move off the point.
All kinds of time for Barker. Fires underneath to McClain. McClain fighting for the end zone. And it's going to be dropped at the 2-yard line. He's close to the 1st down.
Will McClain, 230 pounds, getting that 1st down.
On 1st and goal to go. Look at that. Billingsley got picked up off the ground, and a flag comes out.
Finishing the play, Jay Bowdry. Referee feeling just a little too much. And sometimes in those situations, you don't hear the whistle as easily as some people think.
Play, personal foul, defense, number 47. That's the distance to the goal line. That includes an automatic 1st down.
So Randy Wade gets called for the infraction. As far as penalties go, not much damage done.
Gained about a foot in yardage.
And get to run 1st down again. So it remains 1st and goal to go. Ball inside the 2-yard line here. Going to throw a pass and looking for McLean right there on a quick slant, and Brinson broke it up.
Trying to hit his big target. 6'4", 230. You can see right there, big and physical. It's McLean. Had a little pepper on that pass, though. It's Caleb Barker.
McLean, a former high school quarterback out of the Atlanta area, started his career as a quarterback at Tulane before moving to wide receiver. Second down and goal. Lewis, the tight end, in motion, sets on the left edge. Handoff goes to Billingsley. He runs in that direction. He's going to get dropped. And then Duncan with the big tackle at the 7-yard line. A huge play by Kendrick Duncan, the free safety.
And if you watch this defense function in these last couple of plays, they are paying Caleb Barker no attention on these read options. They're just going to get the ball. Watch this pursuit. Nobody is thinking anything about the quarterback pulling this ball. Look at that backside pursuit. He's going to have to pull a couple of these plays to keep that defense honest.
So third down and goal from the 7-yard line. Barker throwing a fade, and touchdown, Reggie Todd and Troy. Super catch by the 6'5" target, just to muscle up and get the ball.
Just a simple go route, little fade to the back corner of the end zone. Keep it up high for your target. Reggie Todd, 6'5", towering over the corner right there. Maybe a little push at the end on lip trot as he's complaining to the referee. Good job by the receiver and the quarterback. That's how you want to do it in those situations. Keep the ball high. Let him make the play.
So with a 12-point lead, Troy going for the 2-point conversion here. Running a reverse and a throwback for Barker, and it's caught for the 2-point conversion.
Nice play design. We saw Kalen Geiger earlier almost throw an interception. This time he's going to put a little air to his quarterback. And I would say Caleb Barker went at the high tip of the ball to catch it. But he just kind of got up on his toes to grab it. Nice 2-point conversion right there by Troy.
So a 7-yard touchdown pass from Barker to Todd. It was a 13-play, 75-yard drive that took 5 minutes off the clock, Wayne.
It was all about the protection and Caleb Barker being able to deliver the ball. You see him comfortable. Here's that almost interception on that double pass by Caleb Geiger back to Caleb Barker. And then all kinds of time just to survey the field to get that first down is McLean. Here, just throwing that back shoulder fade to the end zone to Reggie Todd, the 6'5" target out there. Nice drive. Nice answer by Troy.
No doubt about it. And with the 2-point convo, it's now a 14-point lead. Kennedy on the return, out across the 25, and Kennedy runs out of bounds around the 35. So good field position, but now Georgia Southern, down 2 scores, has to play with a sense of urgency because the clock is against them now, and once again they're trailing by 14 points.
The clock is against them, and their style of offense is against them in that situation. Only 9:29 left in this game. They are methodical, triple option, pure triple option style team. We've seen them try to take some deep shots that haven't really worked down the field. Now, what would offensive coordinator Bob the Best dial up to try to get his team back in this game?
And you saw the time of possession. That has actually kind of been a negative for Georgia Southern today because they haven't been as efficient with their time as they have typically been. That's a big 9-yard run for Wirtz to get this drive started.
You see they're still huddling up. Nice job by Wirtz keeping this in an option play. As we know, once he starts running the ball downfield, he's just as good as the running backs in that situation. Still huddling up, not feeling that they need to go to any kind of 2-minute offense yet is Georgia Southern.
2nd down and 2. King gets the rock and gets the first down. Tackled by Marshall, but not until King picks up the first down on the play at the 48. First down number 13 for Georgia Southern right here. But again, you bring up the point. How long can you continue to go with your typical huddle up offense, walk to the line of scrimmage type of tempo?
Because if you take too much time, even if you get in the end zone, you find yourself having an onside kick to get the ball back.
Wirtz, couple of fakes, airs it out on the far sideline, and it's caught out there. And a first down at the 29-yard line. Colby Ransom, just his 3rd catch of the season.
Double pump right there by Wirtz. Ransom getting lost. And when you look at the passes that have been completed today for Georgia Southern, it always seems like there's some confusion on this Troy defensive side. No one is going with these receivers.
Wirtz now 122 yards in the air on 5 of 9. Going to go to the air again. Heavy rush. Cholo drops him back at the 36-yard line. Sack number 7 for the Troy defense.
Cholo dominant in stopping the rush. Right here, just pushing the pocket. Keep working. Hitting Edwards, the left guard, with that swim move, working around him with the good hip motion, getting to that sack.
Second down and long now after the big quarterback sack by Cholo. Handoff Kennedy. Breaks out of 2 tackles before Smiley finally gets him on the ground at the 31, but brings up a 3rd down and long.
Showing good balance there. Travis Silo hitting him first, but able to keep his balance, get out of the grasp of Marcus Webb as well to get some positive yards. Trojans, you've got this offense understanding that they're in 4-down territory, so they're not going to necessarily try to go for the sticks on this play.
It's 3rd down and 13 right here. Let's see if they go back to the air. They've had some success there in the second half. Wirtz dancing, he's in trouble, and he's going to go down at the 30-yard line.
Didn't look comfortable from the snap, which works on this play. Happy feet in the pocket. You can see him right there. Just kind of didn't really feel like he knew where his target was in the pursuit of this lead line, especially from that backside pursuit. Has been there all day.
That was Silo coming up big again for Troy, and it's 4th down and 12. Eagles 2 of 2 on 4th down today. And this is the game right here. Any chance they have at a comeback, they've got to convert right here. Wirtz heavy rush, avoids it, scrambling, throwing on the run downfield, and nearly intercepted, incomplete. The ball will go over on downs.
Once again, good pursuit, good pressure there by Marcus Webb. Good shot works on the run. See right there, breaking through. Number 31, A.J. Smiley as well. And you alluded to it, Matt. Only 5:43 down, 2 touchdowns. With your style of offense, really push you behind the gun if you're Georgia Southern, not converting that 4th down.
That could have been the last best chance for Georgia Southern to make a comeback and win this game. And now Troy, who went on a 5-minute scoring drive the last time they touched the ball, if they can do that again, they don't even need to score. They just run the 5 minutes out and win this game.
This drive is all about getting a couple of first downs.
And Billingsley gets that and more. Across midfield, foot race, Billingsley. Touchdown, Troy.
Did I say first down? I meant touchdown. DK Billingsley. He's a workhorse. He sets the tempo. Look how he comes out the backside. And now we're just off to the foot race to the end zone. Having enough there at the end, enough leverage to get into the end zone. But what vision by him. to pop that to the backside. As you can see, went untouched through that line of scrimmage. Just made it a foot race.
70-yard touchdown run for DK Billingsley. And a touchdown run that may have put this game away for Troy. DK Billingsley off to the races, and the Trojans have taken a 42-21 lead. We've got a flag down on the field, and we'll check that before we hop out of here for a break.
We're going to have a personal foul. Someone was over the snapper. As you know, you can't cover the snapper.
Personal foul, roughing the snapper. Defense, number 36. 15-yard penalty will be added to the kickoff. The extra point was good. Timeout on the field.
So there you go. A 42-21 lead for Troy. And now 5.5 minutes to close it out. They're taking out their frustrations today, and they keep alive their goal of being bowl eligible by the end of the season with a 42-21 victory. Now they only have 5.5 minutes to drain off the clock and get what would be a devastating loss for Georgia Southern.
We wonder where the running game went for Troy after that first quarter. DK Billingsley on that long 70-yard run, and now Georgia Southern completely out of their comfort zone, down 21. Any chance would have to come through some kind of spread passing game 2-minute situation that they're just not personnel-wise built to do.
You know, and Wayne, kind of the theme, the conversation of the week from the Georgia Southern side was, okay, we learned from our situation last year where we upset App and then lost back-to-back to ULM and then Troy. Well, they upset App this year and they come out and they lose to Troy. I don't know so much that it had anything to do with that. Troy just came out and just played better than they did today.
And going out and beat App State like that sometimes moves the target to you.
Yep.
And that's the energy that the next team needs to take you on. When the coach walks in there, they saw that you were able to beat App State, who was 21 ranked in the country at the time. That makes you the next target as someone to put on your schedule as someone we beat.
Pass is thrown complete. And what that does is that takes away that driver's seat mentality. Now, Georgia Southern, still from the Eastern Division race standpoint, still has the tiebreaker with App State, but now the Eagles got to hope somebody else beats them in order to forge that tie again. Deep down the sideline. And App still has 2 remaining conference games in the East Division against Georgia State. They will be at Georgia State, and they have to come here and play Troy the final weekend of the regular season. That'll actually be a Friday evening game.
A lot left to this season in the Sun Belt, a conference that is gaining more and more momentum around the country, as we showed the bowl record over the last couple years.
Fourth down here, 4th down and 3 for Georgia Southern. Heavy rush, Cholo comes after him. Quarterback sack number 8 and number 2 for Cholo. Ball goes over on downs, game, set, match.
Great job all night long of pushing the pocket. Looked like it was setting up to be a quarterback draw on this 4th and 3 by Wirtz, but the penetration by Cholo just made Wirtz abandon that play.
Take a look at the final 3 games for the Eagles. Next Saturday, they will be hosting ULM, then on the road at Arkansas State, and then their big rivalry game on the final Saturday of the regular season as they host the Georgia State Panthers, who are playing at ULM this evening, and then they will be hosting App State next Saturday. Billingsley down to the 12-yard line. This game is all but over. That was Woolfolk actually on the carry that time, but Troy a chance to add to the party right here.
struggling, a lot of injuries, especially on the defense, guys in and out of the lineup. And this game today against this kind of opponent, it's the Troy team we kind of thought this season they were going to present. They've had a lot of injuries and a lot of missed assignments, a lot of bad timing of penalties as well. It's kind of made them a 3-5 record. But they have the personnel that they could easily be 5-3.
Yeah, I think, you know, and that was made clear by Lunsford. Touchdown, Woolfolk. The ball came out, but that's going to be a touchdown for Troy, and it's 48-21, and a flag comes out as well as Trayvon Woolfolk runs it in. Big Tristan Crowder wanted to confirm it for everybody. And a man down for Georgia Southern as well, might be Brinson.
I would imagine that this flag is some kind of unsportsmanlike conduct or personal foul. The play was well over when everybody started rushing to what they expected was a fumbled ball.
So waiting for the officials to tell us what the penalty is going to be here. But the touchdown's on the board, and I think that's going to stand.
Ruling on the field was a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 65. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. That is number 65's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. Try for point.
And 65 is the center, Dylan Bradshaw.
Nice hard run here by Wolf to get this ball.
I don't know. They might want to review that. They might want to look at that again.
Wolford trying to extend and put that ball across the goal. It's all about, did he lose control before it broke the goal line?
PAT by Sumter. I mean, I thought that was worth another look, didn't you?
Definitely on the on the review. All touchdowns are supposed to be reviewed. From the angle we had, he definitely looked like he fumbled maybe before he crossed the goal line.
Here's a look at the Trojans' upcoming schedule. They will be at Texas State, then on the road at Louisiana, then close out the regular season on Friday, November 29th against App State. So to get bowl eligible, they're going to have to go through three very good teams. ULM right now in a 24-24 tie with Georgia State. That game is now at halftime. And Texas State did win again today. They beat South Alabama to keep the Jaguars winless in the conference, winning that one 30-28.
Troy was picked preseason number 2 in this Eastern Conference. And Coach Lunsford, when we talked to him, he had a little hesitation in his voice as he understood, especially offensively, what he was coming on the road to face.
Yep.
And this offense showed up today.
Yeah, and he said that. He said if we go in there thinking that we're playing a 3-5 team, which was what Troy's record was before the day started, he said we'll be in trouble. And I agree with that. Troy is much better than their record. Hasn't played out that way this year, but today it has. And the kickoff, we had a whistle while the ball was still in the air.
Although the ball was placed at the 20-yard line following the penalty, this is a regular kickoff and may not be a punt. Re-kick at that yard line.
Exactly. It's not a free kick. It's not after a safety. So Tyler Sumter's like, what did I do wrong? Actually, Sumter's not the guy who kicked it. It was Jake Martin is the kickoff guy. So now they'll tee it up from the 20-yard line. So a disappointing afternoon here for Georgia Southern. And the kick will be fielded at the 38-yard line by Carter. And Dexter Carter knocked down at the 44, and that's where the Eagles go back on offense. But Georgia Southern's going to drop to 5-4 overall and 3-2 in the conference as you take a look at the scoreboard. Of course, Louisiana on Thursday night, the big win over Coastal. Texas State winning today, beating South Alabama 30-28. Bobcats quarterback Tyler Vitt with a big day. And Georgia State and ULM at 24 apiece at halftime. Still to come, we're about 23 minutes away from the start of the App State-South Carolina game on ESPN2. The Mountaineers tonight trying to become the only group of 5 team in the country to beat 2 Power 5s. Of course, they beat North Carolina earlier in the year.
With the team that they have and the motivation of losing last week to Georgia Southern, they might be up to the task of going to South Carolina and winning that game.
The problem with that is that App State has no more surprise in them. I mean, you're not sneaking up, and I'm not saying they snuck up on North Carolina, but there is no element of surprise anymore with them. Everybody realizes they are a legitimate program.
And that's the thing that Target people, sometimes they take you lightly, and sometimes you win games that way. But from here on in, with a team like App State, when people say that name, and that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want that kind of understanding of people that when you see App State, regardless of what level you're on, they are a winning program.
Yeah, and when I say legit program, I don't mean legit program in the Sun Belt. We understand that. I'm talking about a legit program on the national scale. I mean, they are ascending. Now, they got a long way to go to get to where Boise State has been because they've been there so long. But they are reaching that level where they're in that conversation with a team like a Boise State, in my mind.
That you're going to get that kind of
right.
talent, you're going to get that kind of effort, and they have that kind of coaching staff that you're going to have to take them as serious as anyone else on your schedule. And that's why I alluded to maybe the motivation of losing to Georgia Southern will kick them in another gear to meet the challenge of taking down to South Carolina.
We'll see what happens. That game kicks off in about 21 minutes on ESPN2. Wirtz dancing around back there. Gets rid of it, throws it out of bounds, takes another hit. It's going to be third down now, down to 2:45 left in this one. How about Troy and where they go from here? 3 big, tough games left in the month of November. But I think you and I would both agree that if Troy is playing the way we think they can play, they could win all 3 of those games.
A team that can put up 460 yards of offense on an average. Today, close to 649 points. They average around 35. They get a couple of guys on defense that's healthy, especially in that front 7, and get this young secondary to keep flying around. Just play hard. They could win out this schedule very easily.
Pass in the middle to Murray. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. Murray with his second touchdown reception of the ball game, and it's 49-27.
Shai Wirtz just buying some time in the pocket, and like most of the touchdowns today by Georgia Southern, you're wondering where is the defender. It just seems like there's some communication breakdown in that back end of Troy in that pass coverage.
PAT is good, and it's 49-28. No doubt an onside kick will be forthcoming here from the Eagles. So Georgia Southern not going quietly, adding to their total, and I think that's probably on what has been a really positive day for Troy. You know, some of the old sins have come back and, and popped up here that I know they're not happy about. I can see the coaching staff over there, some looks of frustration among those guys for the busted plays that have come in the passing game.
And if you're Georgia Southern, you want to go out and you want to kind of finish the game on an up-tempo, even in a loss, because you're still trying to keep your bowl hopes alive.
Yeah, I mean, they're not there yet.
You're probably going to need to win at least 2 of your last 3. So you got to kind of get yourself in the mode of some good feeling to leave this game with.
So let's see. Troy's going to put almost everybody up front here. Fry will be back in a kind of center field position near the line, but they're going to get 10 guys up there at the 45-yard line or close to it, because an onside kick likely coming here from Tyler Bass.
Can Bass get any kind of bounce on this ball? That's always key in these onside situations.
And there is the bounce that they're looking for, but it's caught by McLean. You want that bounce to coincide with your man getting there right at the same time, and it turned into an easy Sunday hop, if you will, for McLean. And there's a flag down at the 36-yard line, so this looks like it could be a penalty on Georgia Southern, and if the case, that would be declined.
I think we might have had an offsides on that fake.
He ran across the line.
His momentum as he faked to kick the ball took him across the line.
Offside. Kicking team. Number 4. 5-yard correction. That penalty's declined. First down.
And so Troy takes over at the 48-yard line with 2:36 to play. Georgia Southern, if they're inclined to use them, do have 3 timeouts remaining. Barker still in there at quarterback, hands off to Fry, and Fry down to the 31-yard line.
Number 5, Javier Autry Fry.
Good to see Fry back in the game. We saw him on that fumble take a big hit and go to the sideline. Georgia Southern using one of their timeouts here.
Didn't look like, no, they didn't.
Caleb Parker just sprinting to the sideline to get the play.
And Troy's going to end up out rushing Georgia Southern today. 265 yards on the ground right now for the Trojans to the Eagles 152. 595 total, so you're going to have a 600-yard offensive day here for the Trojans. Fry gets the first down as he rumbles down to the 23-yard line.
We talked about this Troy offense. When you have the offensive output that they consistently put out there, it makes them a dangerous team, because that's been there for them all year long. The defense has been back and forth, the penalties, the missed assignments, but this offense is, regardless of opponents, has been able to get up on the scoreboard.
And kind of going back to our App State conversation here, the problem with a team like App State in this conference, or anybody in this conference has become so competitive top to bottom. There's only 1 or 2 teams. A couple of years ago, that was not the case in this conference, and everybody knew it. There was some really bad teams at the bottom of this conference, but the talent level and the competitive level has evened out. So there's really no give-me's on any Saturday in the Sun Belt Conference. There's no breathers in this conference anymore. Makes it tough, even for a team as talented as App State, to run the table.
Yeah, when you look at their schedule, as we talked about the night in South Carolina, and then having to go to Georgia State and then come to Troy, as much as they have been a stellar team, they have a lot of work ahead of them. They could easily drop 2 of those games.
Yeah, it's no given that they win the East. As big a story as they have been nationally, there's no gimme or guarantee that App ends up winning the East. And Troy wins this one 49-28. They improved to 2-3 in the conference and dropped Georgia Southern back to 3-2 with a rousing victory of over 600 yards of total offense here today. 330 through the air for Barker, 3 touchdowns. Billingsley runs for 163, had the big 70-yard touchdown run. Kalen Geiger, his 5th 100-yard receiving game of the day. And the Troy defense held Georgia Southern to 4 scores, one of them late that really didn't matter. All in all, a really good game for Troy.
When you take on a triple option-based team, winning the line of scrimmage is key. And for Troy, they won on both sides, offense and defensive line play tonight.
So the Trojans now 4-5 overall. Next Saturday, they will be at Texas State, 2 o'clock Central on ESPN+. Georgia Southern drops to 5-4. That ends their 4-game winning streak. They'll host ULM next Saturday, 3 o'clock on ESPN+. So for Wayne Gandy and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Matt Stewart. So long from Troy, where the Trojans win big, beating Georgia Southern 49-28.